So last weekend, the Joker premiered and everybody's been talking about it. It's been crazy. I love it. I hate it. I'm in the middle, that sort of thing. It glorifies horrible violence, or it's a whole lot tamer than all the media was making you think. And because of all of this, everyone overlooked Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Wonder Woman Bloodlines was directed by Sam Liu and Justin Copeland. Both of them have had animated DC movies come out this year. Sam Liu directing Reign of the Superman and Justin Copeland directing Batman Hush. They're working together on this Wonder Woman story, which stars Rosario Dawson in the title role of Wonder Woman, but it also has a few supporting players like Marie Avgeropoulos, Jeffrey Donovan, and Adrienne Moore. And I'm going to give you the story in a nutshell because really it doesn't really show that much in any place that I found. I'm going to tell you the things I liked, the things I didn't like, my score overall, and my takeaways. So stick around. Before I get into the review, I just want to thank you guys for clicking on the video. It means a whole lot to me that you're interested in what I think about this movie. If you're interested in more comic book movie reviews or even TV show reviews, that sort of thing, click on that subscribe button. And if you want to know as soon as anything gets uploaded, click that notification bell. You'll know as soon as anything goes live. So the story of Wonder Woman Bloodlines is kind of a lot of things. First off, it tells an origin story about how Wonder Woman came to man's world. And it's kind of a retelling of the Wonder Woman movie, like the first third or so of it. With an exception, it doesn't use World War II as the background, it uses parademons. But that's neither here nor there. It shows how she was adopted into man's world, and because of her inclusion into a certain family, it causes a rift. I'm not going to get into the details of that rift, but there are two villains, Dr. Cyber and Dr. Poison, that team up together, and they are trying to do something that isn't quite clear until later on in the movie. And when that becomes apparent, there's a huge fight scene, and you get the drift. So what are the things that I liked about it? Number one, the animation looks really well done, and it's done in the same style as Reign of the Superman, Death of Superman, Justice League War. Wonder Woman has that same kind of color palette, although later on in the movie she actually gets into like a more traditional Wonder Woman garb. I liked that as well. And one other thing that I really enjoyed, and I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler free as possible, there is a fight towards the end of the movie. I really enjoyed it. I can't say who the fight was with, but I will say that it definitely showed the Amazon and warrior spirit that is in Wonder Woman. So that leaves a lot on the plate of things that I didn't like, and I'm gonna get to them starting now. First off, I love Rosario Dawson, but I did not feel any inflection in this performance. Maybe that's what they were going for, but I just didn't feel her Diana at all. Whenever you're watching Gal Gadot on screen, you feel every single line that she gives. In her movie and in Justice League, she was one of the better parts of Justice League. But in this, Rosario just comes off as like running off a cliff and then falling straight down. It doesn't go anywhere for me. Another thing I didn't like is Steve Trevor's in this movie, and it feels like there's a forced romantic tension. I wasn't buying it. Yeah, I could tell that it was kind of like bubbling under the surface, but whenever anything happened, I wasn't really that huge of a fan. Also, there's something that happens in the third act, and it's one of those instances where there are things that happen to several characters, and whenever the bad guy is beaten, spoiler alert, those effects are reversed. I hate that because it takes away the impact of whatever that bad guy is doing. I don't want, just because the bad guy is defeated, for whatever has happened to everybody to be taken back. It alleviates what could be. It's a get out of jail free card. And I don't want that for superhero movies. I want there to be some sort of impact. I sometimes want there to be some sort of sacrifice that is given in order to win the day. And speaking of that, there is something that is in this movie, which is like a I can cure everything that's wrong with you kind of beam or ray or something like that. That crap is heinous. I'm sorry, but that is also a get out of jail free card, which we already have one get out of jail free card. There's no need for another, in my opinion. So I've given a fair, pros and cons sort of deal. It's time for a grade, and I wish I could grade this higher because I love DC animated projects, but not this one. I've got to go with a 55. Yeah, I wanted to go a little bit higher, and I thought about going a little bit higher, but there's a problem with the story that it just kind of jets all over the place. In one instance, they're trying to investigate somebody's office, and apparently they've been going through this office for 3 hours, and they barely combed the surface. And then when they found a lead, they just left and went with that instead of combing through other things to get more evidence. I felt that was sloppy story writing. And unfortunately, there's quite a bit of it in this movie. Overall, this movie, while it has a fun fight scene, the one word that could describe it, without a doubt, is forgettable. And that's something that Wonder Woman should never be. So that's my review of Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Share this with your friends. And as always, this is Cameron with CBM Reviews. We'll see you next time.